A dream is just a great idea that doesn't have a website yet. Make it a reality with our sponsor for the podcast today, Squarespace. Squarespace makes it easy to turn your idea into a unique website, showcase your work, blog or publish content, even sell products and services of all kinds in just a few clicks. And with 24/7 award-winning customer support, you can customize everything from look and feel to settings and products using beautiful templates created by world-class designers. And there's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever. So head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code GRACE to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Not too deep. Not too deep. With Grace Helbig.
Hi, Jack.
Hi, Grace. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Hello, listeners. How are you?
How
Great.
formal.
Good to hear. I know. I'm trying to make it different. I'm trying to shake things up a little bit. This is exciting. Spoiler alert.
I know.
Jimmy O Yang is on this episode of Not Too Deep. And if you don't know him, get ready to meet an incredible human being.
So
that
funny.
Is such a goddamn delight and so fucking funny. He's on Silicon Valley. He just wrote a book called How to American. He is a stand-up.
He's in a bunch of movies.
Yeah, he's in Crazy Rich Asians. He's in Life of the Party with Melissa McCarthy. He's just having a real moment right now.
Yeah.
And we got him.
We did.
We sequestered him and made him tell us funny jokes.
Yeah, and he's hilarious.
He did not disappoint, to say the least. So we'll get to that in a second. Speaking of movies, have you seen Infinity War?
No. And I knew we were going to talk about this because I know.
I mean, by the time this airs, it's old news.
I guess.
It's already sort of old news. And we're.
But I mean, I'm sure it's made like $1 trillion.
Sure. That's a number, yes.
Yeah, I just have no desire to see it because I just don't.
Really?
I just don't like superhero movies. I talked about this on Popcorn to sort of a laborious degree, I would say.
Sure.
But the long story short of it is, yeah, they just kind of bore me, to be honest.
You film buff extraordinaire Jack Ferry, NYU alum Jack Ferry. What is it about them that's boring? Because they're so unrealistic?
I know. What bothers me is...
or that they're cheesy sometimes?
No, it's not even that, honestly, because I'm okay with all those things. It's just for me, when you have a character that's so strong and then a villain that's so strong and then that's just sort of like death is sort of meaningless because you know like, oh, well, yeah, he maybe died, but he's going to come back because of magic.
Oh, so you're saying like worlds without fully defined parameters or rules?
It just sort of, it feels like if death is sort of meaningless, it sort of takes the drama out of it, where it's just like the comparison I drew.
All right, well, that was dark.
I'm just saying, like, the comparison I drew was, okay, so spoiler alert, if you're not caught up on Game of Thrones, stop listening for the next 2 minutes, but I'll be real brief.
Okay.
So for me, Game of Thrones, that was so interesting about that show was
that characters could die at any moment.
Yeah, at the end of season 1, they like killed the main character, and you're like, what is happening? Like, it created this world where you're like, anything can happen in this show. And then where the show lost me was very recently when they killed Jon Snow and then they found a way to bring him back to life.
Interesting. I understand that, where you're like, there's no real set consequences. So
and that ruined it for
what
me.
am I rooting for?
Correct. And so when I watch like these superhero movies where it's just these like godlike titans just beating each other up, but having no consequences. And then even like when they're like, oh no, Superman dies, and it's like, but he's not really. They're gonna find a way to bring him back to life, and then it's just,
no, I get what you're saying.
And that's honestly, that's why it's sort of like,
Yeah, it's not as infectious to you as to a lot of other people. I think it's good versus evil than like human versus death.
I don't disagree with that. It's just as a personal preference.
Yeah.
And I don't have an issue with them. Like, I don't think I'm not one of those people that's like, they shouldn't be making these movies.
Jack is calling out the film industry right now. No. Pick up on the headlines.
What I'm saying is they're just not for me.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Totally fair. I have been catching up on superhero movies because I do want to watch Infinity War.
And you have to like watch a bunch of movies to like understand the plot.
Sort of, but I watched Avengers Civil War, which involves a lot of different, narratives coming into one. And I didn't have much of a background on knowing who everyone was, but I still could figure out via like context.
Yeah.
And
Brooks was telling me that's one of the movies you have to watch in order to understand the new Avengers movie.
Yeah, apparently we went on and Googled like, what do you need to watch in prep for Infinity War, and there's a bunch of varying lists. None of them are like that similar.
Oh, okay,
so it's
got it.
basically every movie.
Just watch them
apparently.
all. Just watch all the movies.
But I watched Thor Ragnarok on a flight, and I really enjoyed it.
I
thought
heard
it was
that one was very funny.
very funny, and that's what I liked about it, is that there is an actual through line of genuine comedy amidst all of the completely unrealistic circumstances of all of it.
I would probably watch that one because I do like that director.
Yeah, you would like it.
He's done like he's like the New Zealand director who works a lot with like Jermaine Clement and everything like that.
Yeah, no, you can say there's a very dry sense of humor that runs through the whole thing. That's fantastic, especially when you're watching these like big A-list celebrity actors and actresses, and then they're really fucking funny. You're like, oh, this is really fun. I like this.
And that's the dynamic that I think I could get behind. I think that's the thing that could turn around for me is if the movies don't take themselves too seriously and they're really fun and funny, then I feel like I think there was like this movement that happened started in the 90s and then like it really calcified with like the Christopher Nolan Batman series where it's like the movies they just got really heavy and dark.
Oh yeah, the Dark Knight got dark. Yeah, very
dark.
That's what I just watched Logan too. Logan, dark as fuck.
That's what I've heard. Yes.
I cried the whole end. It was,
haven't seen
especially if do you have any sense of like love or hate for your father? It's going to come up big time as a young woman. Yeah, it's a very like father-daughter relationship that happens.
So it's kind of an Electra story going on there.
Oh yeah, big time, and it's very sweet and just hits a lot of nerves. And you're like, oh. Plus, it's just like dark and gritty and real.
Well, shit, I may actually watch that.
You would actually like it.
Sounds kind of good.
You would like it. If you want to see the dark side of things, feel a little bad and also weirdly uplifted and like hopeful and sad, Logan, it's for you.
All right, fair enough.
Not sponsoring this podcast at all whatsoever. But I will say a movie I'm so excited to watch that we watched the trailer for right before Jimmy got here is Crazy Rich Asians. That looks so goddamn good.
Yeah, it does. And they've been talking about, like, we've been hearing about this movie for such a long time. I feel like it's going to be a huge hit.
And it comes out in August, which is so exciting. Yeah, that I felt like it was out already because there's been such buzz around the film.
Yeah.
And he's in it. And he tells us a little bit about his time being there and how wonderful it was and how cool it was. They shot in Singapore and Malaysia and super fun.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see that. And Life of the Party, the new Melissa McCarthy comedy.
Who's always a delight.
Yeah, she texts us almost every day saying, sorry you couldn't do the podcast again this week.
Yeah, we'll get her eventually. She's a busy lady.
She's really committed to getting here, guys.
I know.
Trust us.
We'll get her. Don't worry about it. We're going to get her.
I have to respond to her text. That just reminded me. But okay, well, we won't like waste any more time up top because
we've got like a supersized episode with Jimmy.
Yeah, he spilled his guts and so goddamn funny. So enjoy this episode of Not Too Deep with Jimmy O Yang.
Not Too Deep with Grace Helbig.
Support for today's show comes from our good buddies at Squarespace.
Yay!
They're our buddies. They've been supporting us for a while, and they want us to tell you, think it, dream it, make it with Squarespace.
Whoa, that's very inspiring. Listen, with these beautiful templates that they have that are created by world-class designers, Squarespace makes it easy to turn your idea into a new and unique website.
Here's the thing. You can customize everything from look and feel to settings and products, all optimized for mobile right out of the box.
That's important.
With built-in search engine optimization. That's right. They got the SEO going.
Whoa, that's what that stands for. Oh my God. Sorry, I'm having a quiet epiphany within this ad. You can showcase your work. You can blog or publish content. You can announce a special product. You can even sell products and services of all kinds in just a few clicks.
And if you want to grow your business, you can use Squarespace's analytics to help you do that in real time.
And get this, there is nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever.
But if you do have a question, they've got award-winning 24/7 customer support to help you out.
Keep dreaming, but make it a reality with a website from Squarespace.
And I can speak from experience because I have made multiple websites using Squarespace, and it's very easy to use, and they look very profesh, and even a dum-dum like me can do it, so I'm certain you guys could too.
And you guys can't see this, but Jack has been dabbing the whole time that he just explained his personal connection to Squarespace. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you are ready to launch, use the offer code GRACE, GRACE, to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
That's jackdab.com. I'm sorry, that's squarespace.com, offer code GRACE.
Not too deep.
Jack, are you tired?
I'm so sleepy.
Oh, how conveniently perfect for the sponsor of this week's episode of Not Too Deep.
Really?
It's Casper mattresses.
That sounds like heaven right now.
Yeah, Casper, if you guys don't already know, we love them. They're a sleep brand that continues to revolutionize, maybe I need more sleep, its line of products to create an exceptionally comfortable sleep experience one night at a time. They have now 3 mattress models: the original Casper, the Wave, and the Essential. How essential. And they're designed perfectly to soothe and cradle your natural body geometry.
That's what I need. I need more cradling. I think that's the reason why I'm not sleeping great right now.
Yeah, I also need to refer to my body as geometry more often. Not to mention, the breathable design helps you sleep cool and regulates your body temperature throughout the night. How many times are you kicking your feet out from under the blankets just to get cold?
That's an every evening occurrence.
Exactly. And it's delivered right to your door in a small, how do they do that, size box, which I can attest to is confusingly small when it shows up to your door.
Yeah, because when you take it out, it kind of does like a
yeah,
it kind of
like
unfolds.
When you make a snake out of like the straw wrapper and then you put water on it and it grows.
I love that game.
It's like that. They also have free shipping and returns in the US and Canada. And the best part, this is really what makes it the coolest, is that you can be sure of your purchase with Casper's 100-night risk-free sleep on it trial. So you can sleep on this thing for 100 nights in the comfort of your own home. And if you don't like it, you could give it back. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Because you spend 1/3 of your life sleeping. Don't know if you knew that. Fun fact. So you should be comfortable. And Jack and I both have experienced Casper mattresses, and they are great. I currently sleep on a Casper mattress in my house right now every night.
Yeah, and if you don't believe us, just try one. You get 100 nights for free.
100 nights. So start sleeping ahead of the curve with Casper, and you can get $50 towards any mattress purchase by visiting casper.com/grace and using Grace, GRACE, at checkout. That's Casper, CASPER.com/Grace. Offer code GRACE for $50 off of your mattress purchase. Terms and conditions apply.
And then the
luck with
Rams
that.
Stadium is not opening not too far from here, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, is that where it is?
Yeah.
It's down here?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good to know. How'd they do? How'd they do this season?
They
you
did
just
well.
said you watched Sports Center.
Yeah, they lost in the first round of playoffs. But I'm rooting for them.
But they got to the playoffs.
I'm bandwagoning.
Who's your team?
Clippers, LA Clippers, for basketball. I don't really have a football team.
No football, but that's like your number one go-to sports team, Clippers.
Yeah.
So not the Lakers.
Not the Lakers. Hated Kobe Bryant.
So is that how? I mean, for you, does that how it work? I mean, we're starting now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Jimmy O Yang's here. Yay!
Hey, welcome.
It's so exciting. No, that's your go-to is watching sports, Sports Center, all of that.
Uh-huh.
So does that make or break a team for you? One bad seed,
One bad
or
season.
one person that you don't
Because
vibe
you didn't
with?
like Kobe, that's why you
But
don't
I
like the
think
Lakers.
it was my childhood, right?
Okay.
Okay.
'Cause
I
you
didn't
grew up-
like it when I was growing up.
You grew up in San Diego, right?
in LA.
In LA.
Yeah, I
Okay.
went to college in San Diego.
You went to college, but you moved
Uh-huh.
here when you were 13
from Hong Kong.
from Hong Kong. So just
Yeah.
a natural
And why didn't
shift.
you like Kobe, man? He played for LA.
Asian people love Kobe in general,
Uh-huh.
but I thought he was a little pompous. I really like Shaq, but I just
Well,
hated
we're a
Kobe.
big
We
fan
all
of
love
Shaq.
Shaq.
Who
Jimmy.
doesn't?
I didn't like his attitude, man, and I like rooting for the underdogs.
Right.
Yeah.
And back
sure.
then, I think the Clippers were playing in the Forum, and they're just maybe starting to move to the Staples Center,
Okay.
and you can get Clippers tickets for really cheap.
Yeah, it's true.
And they were really
Oh.
exciting to watch. So I became a Clippers fan when I came here. This was the year 2000.
So you're ahead of the
Whoa.
bandwagon then, because there's a
Way
lot of Clippers fans.
Yeah,
now.
not anymore. Chris Paul
Really?
and Blake Griffin are gone this season.
Yeah,
So.
but only this season. But up until then,
Oh, yeah.
there's been this resurgence in Clippers fans.
Absolutely.
And so you were a fan in their more
I've
fallow
been
years.
a fan for almost 20 years now.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Good
you're
for you.
like
And I'm
a tried and
14.
true. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Wow.
In the womb, just kicking every game, loving it. No, I'm going to jump right into my most favorite fact about you in doing all this research. Speaking of basketball, is that you worked with the Harlem Globetrotters? Is this true?
Oh my God. That was like one of my first ever paying gigs
You
in
had to-
showbiz.
That's amazing.
I love the Harlem Globetrotters. I've been twice as an adult, never as a child, which is
Uh-huh.
probably
I
the
went
opposite.
twice as a child.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you go.
it's the opposite of how you're supposed to do it. I think they are the
I've
most.
never been. So,
Okay.
Really?
What?
Yeah. well, so the job was literally a one-day consulting gig because I was
Okay.
like one of the only Chinese American stand-up comedians. That
Yeah.
still might be the case. Well, Ali Wong is huge now. But back in the day, this was, I don't know, like 10 years ago. And I just started doing stand-up. I had some videos on YouTube, and that's how they found me. And they offered me literally like $200
to come in for the day.
to meet me at LAX down the street from here.
Wait, at the airport?
Yeah, to meet me for the day. They didn't bother like going in town,
This
getting a
sounds like the
hotel room.
shadiest situation.
Yeah,
Just fly in,
They
meet
flew
you by
in.
the Marriott right next door, and then go
exactly.
Yeah.
And pay
right,
me by the minute.
Yeah, exactly.
right back on the plane.
And I had to give him a massage at some point. It was really weird.
I know it's the business, baby. That's
Yeah.
the business.
No, but anyways, that's and they wanted me to consult on their script because they have a script, right? And they
Yeah.
Is that well? That's my one. It's obviously a very fun show. If you ever have the time to go, highly recommend. Fun for the whole family, even if you don't have one. And it's so silly and so dumb that I wonder every time, is this like a Broadway show where these guys
It
are
is.
just like doing the same thing over and over again and making it feel like it's
highly
spontaneous?
scripted, and
Okay.
they change it. It's a worldwide thing. That's so they change it a little bit country to country.
Okay.
You know, and they wanted me to consult on the Chinese script
Oh,
to
really?
see if there's anything offensive.
Oh,
and
that's
was there?
interesting.
I told them one thing because they're
Yeah.
only paying me $200, so I told them one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want more, you got to pay up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I told them that Hello Kitty was Japanese and not Chinese, and that was the only thing I told them.
Well,
But
I
that
could have
also
told them that.
That seems like
Exactly.
an easy
So-
Google search, but
Yeah.
and so wait, because you've consulted, you still don't get like free tickets for life or anything?
I think they offered me free tickets in the beginning, but then I really didn't come through for them in the consulting. So like, whatever, man.
But to be fair, they only met you at LAX. There was on both sides, I think, a little hesitancy.
I get a Christmas e-card from them every year still.
Do you
That's-
really?
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, so you're on their newsletter list. So
I
you
guess.
could hit them back up if Silicon Valley doesn't keep going in any way, shape,
Maybe
or
I
form.
can be a Harlem Globetrotter.
I mean, I
Maybe
think,
they can dunk me.
No, the confetti bucket trick is a classic, and regardless of who consults on every script in the future, I hope they never take that out.
What is the confetti?
Oh, they
bucket
come.
trip-
They do
tri-
this whole
trick?
thing where they're like buckets full of water that they're like dumping on each other. Then they
Yep.
run into the crowd as if they have a bucket full of water. Two of them are chasing each other, and then they get into the crowd, and the guy's like covering himself with crowd members, and so he goes to throw the bucket of water on him, and the crowd's anticipating, oh my God, I'm going to get soaked. And it's just confetti that comes out. And you don't know when it got switched out. It's like David Blaine. It's really
The
just
old
pure magic.
switcheroo.
And
I
what
love
does
it.
that have to do with basketball?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. That
Absolutely
could be
nothing.
I'm going to
Absolutely
do that at my stand-up shows.
You should.
It's, oh my God, it's perfect. Wait, so how long have you been doing stand-up now?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Happy 10 years.
Thank you.
Double
Not
digits?
exact. I'm not counting, but about that.
Okay. Do you remember your first stand-up show?
Yeah, it was at the Ha Ha Comedy Club in North Hollywood.
Really?
I had to pay
Nice.
$5 for 5 minutes of open mic.
You paid to
You had to
perform.
pay?
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Do you
Yeah.
remember the first joke?
Uh,
Or do you remember
it's
the
like a
most
5
memorable
minute
joke?
set. I wrote it's in the book. I wrote my closer joke
Uh-huh.
for my first set. It was like a masturbation joke
Uh-huh.
about Sports Center. Very mean.
You've been on brand your whole life.
Yeah, I think every stand up start with like hacky material, like masturbation jokes
Sure.
or whatever.
It's something
right?
everyone can relate to.
Yeah, absolutely. So the joke was me jerking off watching porn, but then in my house, Sports Center's always on, and then sometimes you don't want to be jerking off, and then you turn around to the TV and be like, "Oh my God, Michael Vick just scored a touchdown," and I'm like, "Oh my God, I just came to Michael Vick," which is not the worst thing ever.
No, but a memory that won't ever leave you.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
before the whole dogfighting thing, I think.
Yeah.
And
Oof.
yeah, and then the comic afterwards. This is what's great about stand-up. As stupid as that joke was,
Uh-huh.
people like looked at it and analyzed it, other stand-ups, and was giving me like taglines afterwards.
What?
They're like, that's a good bit, but you should tag it with, now every time I see Michael Vick, I just come a little bit. And I'm like, that's a great tagline. I'm gonna
That's
start
really-
using that.
That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, that seems. I mean, I guess that's it. I don't know the world of stand up. I've never done it. It terrifies me. I think it's very brave of everyone that does it.
No,
And
but that's great. You have that respect for it, right? A lot of people
it's
don't have that.
I did improv.
Oh, I do. I think it's terrifying.
yeah,
That's great.
but I did improv, and so that's terrifying. But you're at least your
You have a
whole motive
partner.
is to support each other
Yeah,
on
you
stage.
get, like,
But
a whole
To
stand up,
me,
team.
that's scarier.
but stand up to me feels like you're out there by yourself, and the idea of stand ups helping stand ups was something I assumed was a rare thing. But it's nice to hear that that's like, hey,
Yeah, yeah.
we can tag this better for you. Let's do this
Oh, there's
together.
a lot of
Think
the other
tanks.
way around. You know,
A lot
Yeah.
of like competitive.
fucking with each other. It's like, yo, that's hack. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, you just had your book come out, How to American,
Mhm.
in March,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Which,
And
by
so-
the way, fantastic cover.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
we were
We were
just talking about
commenting
this.
on it before
You
you came
can't see it
over.
on the podcast, but just imagine the best cover of a book of all time, and that's what the cover is, and it's really good. And you can go to all your local bookstores and see it. It's so fun, and also just kind of the perfect timing, I think, in
Uh-huh.
the weird political, social environment that we're all living in right now.
Right.
Was this something that you were excited to write, or were you stressed to write, or were you like, where's my line on how personal I am about? Because it's a
Right.
lot of personal stories.
Yeah. I was pretty excited to write it. I want to take a little break from stand up. It's nothing
Yeah.
like, of course, I'm an immigrant. It's going to be like an immigrant story inside
Sure.
of this, but it's not because of the political stuff that I
Right.
want
That's
to
what
write
I
it.
figured. This is probably something that you had already planned on writing. And
Right.
it just so happens that the world is the way the world is right now. But
Yeah.
this is your story, regardless of what year we live in.
Yeah, I just want to take some time off of stand up because in stand up, you got to get a laugh every few seconds and, be funny and not too emotional and not too, too deep.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So-
I understand that concept.
get it.
So,
but also, you have to be
yeah, so
in
in the
book writing more
book-
patient.
Yeah, and they get deep and like get to really the core of the
Yeah.
stories and like how I feel as an immigrant or how I felt as a comedian trying to make it when my parents didn't like want me to do any of that. So I just wanted to write some honest stories, and I was able to do that, and it was a really fun, exciting, and what's that word when something?
Fulfilling,
Yeah, but what's that really fancy word that people cathartic?
cathartic. Yeah.
Oh, I hate it when people say cathartic. It's like, what are you
Why?
saying? You fucking better than me?
Yeah.
Saying vocabulary words that I don't know about. I had to go look up what cathartic meant.
Challenge it.
Yeah.
What's the feedback been? Because I understand the process, and it's like whenever you write something that's a little bit more personal than in stand up, and that you can't be there when the person's reading it to like deflect and make jokes while they're reading
Right.
it. Like you have to just sit and hope that they're reading it, feeling it all somewhat related to the story, and also understanding the comedy. What's been your feedback since it's been out?
It's been great, especially from other immigrants.
Right. Yeah.
From the Asian community that like really they find it relatable, and there's
Yeah.
just not enough stories out there about this, right?
yeah.
And even for the non-Asians, they loved it because it was just an outsider fitting in, and it's in a way kind of inspirational, being like the underdog, yeah, the Amazon feedback's awesome. Like some kid,
Have
even,
you
like,
read have you gone through and read like your own book reviews?
I did every single one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's been pretty positive, so
it's
I'm okay.
terrifying. I've
But
done
it's
that. It's
Oh
terrifying.
yeah. What's been the most interesting piece of feedback that
One
you
of the
didn't anticipate?
first reviews
Uh-huh.
was 4 stars on Amazon, and like when it's your first review, that weighs a lot, right?
Sure.
So
It's
I was
breaking the ice.
I was like pissed off. I'm like, why isn't this guy giving me 5 stars? It's this Asian dude that got an early copy, he was like, Jimmy's book is very funny, great, hilarious, interesting, relatable. I'm like, what the fuck? Why didn't you give me 5 stars then?
Right,
And then
right.
he went on in the second paragraph. He was like, but it just seems like success came kind of easy for him. Maybe it's because he's a little talented or like whatever. But for me, I'm still grinding away behind a desk. I'm in the tech industry, and it just seems like whatever I do, it's just not hitting. I'm like,
so
you
that's a
giving
personal problem.
I'm like, you giving yourself 4 stars. You're not giving me 4 stars. Like, why the fuck is that my problem?
Right.
And that's always the fun first review.
Yeah,
It's like-
exactly.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I hope that you have an opportunity to have a conversation with that reviewer at some point in the near to distant future. Have you been touring and doing the whole press stuff for the
Yeah,
book?
it's exhausting.
I'm gonna say
You've done it
how annoying is it to talk about yourself
for like 50 times.
and then you don't believe the stories about yourself that you're saying anymore?
Yeah, you're like, this is material right now.
Yeah.
I thought
I'm
this was
giving
my
you
life.
free material.
But this is material.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's really daunting. Like,
What's the question you hate the worst that you get? Because I don't like I've been on both sides of like having to do like press junkets for Attack of the Show in the past, and like having to do the reporter thing of being like,
Yeah.
I have 4 minutes to try and like talk to someone that's been talking to people all fucking day and they're
Yeah, you
exhausted.
want to get like one interesting soundbite from
Right, and you
Charlize
also-
Theron.
You're trying to
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
seem like a report. You're trying to just be like a human with a human. And
Yeah.
so
that's what's great, right? That's why you're good at what you do, because the people that try to actually ask you questions. Like some people has read the book like page to page, which is
Right.
awesome.
Yeah.
And some of them are able to have the conversation and then have material that dig into the book.
Yeah.
But then some people, they almost did too much homework. They're like, so when you came here in 13 and then you went to middle school, tell me more about that. And then you have to really just talk about your book chapter by chapter. It's like,
wow.
so
But if you
I
read
heard
the
about-
book, you get
yeah, but it's like, dude,
Well,
like,
if you read it, you'll know all about it.
yeah,
Did you do the audiobook for this?
I did.
How was that experience? Because that to me is the most fascinating thing when you
Yeah.
have to read your own book out loud to like an audio engineer that you don't know at all.
Right,
and
right,
especially
right.
when it's personal stories to be like, well, here's me.
It was fun. Like I think being a stand-up, you learn to read an audience, even if it's
Yeah.
an audience of 1 or an audience of 2, 3 at a podcast.
Yeah.
So in the audiobook process, it was cool. It was almost like testing the material
Oh, that's cool.
because the engineer was there. Sometimes he'll laugh, sometimes he'll like
Right.
get like kind of serious.
yeah.
So that was cool to see that. That was the first time basically reading the book in front of an audience.
Yeah.
Kind of scary because I can't rewrite it no more.
Terrifying.
Yeah, you can't
Oh,
like make
Yeah.
changes on the fly.
Did
I
you-
found a
Something
couple
doesn't land.
mistakes
That's
and I
what I
was
was
so
saying.
mad.
Did you find any typos? Did you find
I
any
was
errors?
so mad. It was also mistakes that the line by line editor
yeah.
had messed up
Oh,
because
they
they
missed?
changed it without my consent.
Oh, shoot.
Like some super dumb. Like I talked about like I lost this ping pong game when I was a kid, like
Yeah.
21-3, but they changed it to 21-31 because I think the new ping pong scoring system is different than the old one.
like
Oh.
SATs.
So I was just so mad. Like, and then there's some other stuff that like maybe grammatically this book's not perfect, right? I
Right.
wrote it that way in my voice,
yeah.
but they changed it, but they also changed the meaning of it.
Oh, so they like
Without really
overcorrected.
consulting. Yeah. So I was like real mad. And at that point I called them that it was already in print. So
Oh.
So if people listen to the audiobook, they may be able to detect like moments that you sound pissed off more
Yeah, I
in
know,
other
right?
moments. Like
yeah.
I think he's upset and this wasn't supposed to go this way. No, one of
Levels.
my first notes from my first book back from my editor was because I would just hand in separate chapters rather than like reading the book as a whole, like start to finish, like what a person would experience if they bought it.
Uh-huh.
And then she was like, all right, once the whole book has been turned in, you say diarrhea 12 times in this book. You might want to go
Oh
back
my
and
God.
consider using a different word because
This
it was
is
just my
after the fact.
but it was like at the very end, it was just my go-to. And then when I did the audiobook, I just told the same type of joke over and over that I was so pissed at myself for not
Oh,
like being more
no.
clear-headed about it. But it's also fascinating because you can't do anything. So
I
you're
did
just
the
like,
same thing. I
yeah.
found myself writing the phrase, and I left with my tail between my legs 3 times. 3 times in the book.
Sure.
well, that's a fun little now, like, nugget for people to try and find where you say that in the book.
Well,
Yeah.
now you know that's like a personal clam that you have to avoid talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll never say that
Yeah.
ever again.
Yeah.
What was it like also, because the forward is by Mike Judge. Yeah, that's
There's a blonde hair. If
I'm-
I have a brunette girlfriend,
I leave my
this
mark
coulda got me
everywhere.
killed.
I leave my mark
So
everywhere.
this is what happens when you come do a white woman's podcast. You know what I mean?
I just put my hairs everywhere that I am so that if anyone sees that I've gone missing, there's a paper trail of where I've been.
Yeah, it's gonna be my shirt.
So Mike Judge wrote the forward for this.
Yes.
What was it like asking him to do that?
He's awesome. I think in the
Yeah.
show, him and TJ, they're like my best friends.
Yeah,
and like, Me
yeah.
and Mike, we go grab drinks all the time, and he's just a chill guy.
yeah.
He's not Hollywood at all, which is awesome. Like, he just goes get a couple Bud Lights. That's what he does. He
That's-
drinks
That's
Bud
cool.
Lights at the Golden Globes.
He's king of the hill.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's an awesome, awesome dude. So I asked him, I was nervous about it, but I knew he was a buddy. So either he would
Right.
tell me like yes or no, like in a very matter of fact way. And he was
Sure.
like, yeah, of course I'll do it. And it was so cool.
That's
That's
so
awesome.
sweet. And then that must be like, now you sit and wait for what he's going to submit to you. How is he
Yeah.
going to write this forward?
And I can't edit him. You
no,
know,
you
like,
can't
Right.
give him notes. You can't be like, can
Right.
you like make me sound nicer? I
no,
don't
but
know.
he wrote the nicest forward, and it was so cool to see that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Okay, so let's talk about you DJ'd at a strip club.
This is true.
And this is a thing, I'm sure, because it's on your Wikipedia, that this is a...
It's on my Wikipedia?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, big time.
I haven't checked my Wikipedia in years.
It's very flavorful.
Holy shit.
You got all this new material now because of your book, so
Yeah.
you can
Oh,
actually
And do you
cite
talk-
it as a reference.
Do you talk about DJing in the strip club in the book?
There's a chapter in the book called How to Strip Club DJ.
I mean, that's very informative and helpful for a specific niche
That's
of
the
people.
very first chapter I wrote when I wrote the book.
Really?
Because there's so much material, and it's like something that's so interesting. Because when you when you do a book proposal, you need like 2-3 sample chapters.
Right, yeah.
So that's a sample chapter, and the other sample chapter was my first day in school in America.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
seeing how different those are, I thought they would be so interesting to show people this. You know?
I mean, yeah, from 13 years old to DJing in a strip club. What was are you allowed to say the name of the strip club?
Sure. I changed the name of everything, but the name of the strip club is actually real. It's called Fantasy Showgirls. Because I just really couldn't come up with a better name for a shitty strip club.
I know. I was like, that's the real one or the fake one? Because they both sound
sound
very
made up.
iconic.
But now it's gone. It's closed down.
Oh,
and the
man.
owner, unfortunately, has passed away.
Oh.
But it was a very gangster strip club. It was ran by like biker gang dudes, and our bouncer used to be in the Aryan Brotherhood.
Whoa.
I'm sure he like
Wow.
did not like me, when I was there.
Wow.
And it's not like a nice strip club like Magic City or like Cheetahs or anything like that. Like, not that I know anything about strip clubs.
Well, Cheetahs has like comedy nights in it.
Oh,
like,
yeah?
People have done stand up
Well,
in
Ari
Cheetahs.
Shaffir did like a comedy thing, like on Comedy Central.
Oh, yeah,
where
in
people-
Cheetahs. Yeah.
Oh, I've heard.
So
of
it's
this,
like
yeah.
nice.
It's
It's
a
like different
welcoming community.
stages.
Yeah.
It's like, they serve food. There's like different strippers, high-end strippers. Like in our club, it's like just a bunch of like really sad runaways and a bunch of gangsters working there.
Oh.
And
That's
there's
a pain.
always like 2 customers. It's really sad. And I soon realized like nobody actually wanted to work there except me.
How did you get this? What was like, how does one seek out DJing? I didn't know that
Sadly-
strip clubs had DJs that
Oh,
much. Yeah. I
Yes.
thought it was just like an iPod on
Oh, it's
loop.
a thing. So it's
Okay.
not just it's you picking the music, right?
Right.
But it's also like you talking to microphone.
Oh, so you're like
So you're the
hype
one
man.
introducing the.
You
the
really have
ladies.
not been to a strip club.
No, I've been to Jumbo's Clown Room, which,
which
is
doesn't
not a
count.
strip
That doesn't
club.
count.
No.
Doesn't
That's
have
like
a
a
DJ.
burlesque room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the strip club DJ, it's a high pressure salesman for lap dance sales.
Whoa.
And you introduce the strippers, right?
Are
so
you
it's
making any
perfect.
commission?
No,
off
you don't
of
make
lap
any commissions.
dances?
The girl's supposed to tip you out, but in our club, they never did.
Oh, okay.
Right? So you gotta
Because
be
there's
like,
2 patrons.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very sad. So you gotta be like, coming up to the stage next, we have Milan, the oh so sexy Milan. Give it up one more applause for the sexy sausage.
Oh wow.
And then you gotta announce like 2-for-1 lap dance is going on right now. Don't be shy with your wallet. Grab 2 lap dances with your favorite girl, or have 2 girls give you 1 lap dance for the price of 1.
Oh my
2-for-1 lap
God.
dances going on next 5 minutes.
You're very good at this, Jimmy. I can see why you were so
I
successful.
see the history, yeah.
I think it's like
I'm kind of like, where's my wallet? Fuck.
It's like
It's a
Yeah.
deal.
I guess I'll take 2.
it's like a stand-up comedian's calling, right? In a way.
Oh, yeah, because did you
you're
get
doing stand-up, you're doing crowd work.
Are the girls giving you like, here's my intro today, or you get to just have fun with it? Being
You
like,
get to
I'm
have fun
gonna
with it.
add some stuff.
I was always very nice to the girls, so nice to the point I got friend zoned by the girls.
That's
Sure.
gonna
I
say,
was like
do you keep up
Too
with
professional,
Yeah.
And
You got to be a little bit of a bad boy.
yeah,
Like, oh,
I
you were
know.
making fun of me yesterday. I don't know how I think about you, Jimmy.
I was a professional bad boy, and I
got-
was scared of the owner, honestly.
Well, it
It's a
sounds
healthy
like you
sense
had
of
a
fear.
reason to be scared of him. He
But
was like
yeah.
hanging out with biker
think-
gangs and the Aryan Brotherhood.
Yeah, I don't think any
That's
strip
serious.
club exists without like some healthy sense of fear through everyone that works
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like protocol.
Yeah.
Do you keep in touch with any of your old coworkers?
I did with the owner. For the sake of the book, his name was Shooter, which is actually not that far from his real
Shooter.
name.
Shooter?
And
okay.
he went to jail for a long time. And then he came back. I worked at a strip club.
Yeah.
He loved me. Like lap dance sales went up 44% the first week. All
the
right.
first week?
And
Whoa.
he wanted to open a new club for me to run it.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, but then it just
So
got
you
too
were very
dangerous.
good.
Yeah, it just got too dangerous. I want just to tease the book a little bit.
Yeah.
The last segment of that strip club chapter is this brawl that happened on Christmas where I had to go work at the strip club
Oh no.
and went to like kick some kid's ass.
Jeez.
Whoa.
And then after that, I was like, dude, I gotta get out of here.
So you've seen some things.
So after that,
I've
you were
seen some
like,
shit.
that's it. Just stand up and acting for me now.
Yeah, I guess so.
Jeez. Yeah, a less scary, but also still full of pain
Yeah,
employment.
much more painful actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Much more-
less likely to get shanked.
People
I
keep
guess.
talking about their pain instead of just burying it, repressing it with drugs and alcohol. Well, it's still kind of the same. Okay, so there was a New York Times article that you wrote that you said that you took a first date to Dave & Buster's.
Yes.
Is this true?
Yeah, I took a riot date.
That's the greatest date ever.
Yeah.
Dave and Buster's.
Grace used to work at Dave and Buster's.
I worked at Dave and Buster's
It's so
in
cool.
Philadelphia. It's not cool to work there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not. I worked there for a month, and it's like the only waitressing job I like called and quit, crying in like a Target parking lot.
What's
So I
so
was like,
bad about it?
well, they just don't train. I was like 19 or 20 at the time, and I was still in school, and I just was going to work there for the summer, and they train you, quote unquote, but then they throw you out on the floor. And so it's not just a regular chain restaurant. It's a chain restaurant plus giant, awesome arcade.
Yeah.
And so you have these like meal deals that you're giving to people. It's like $10.99 for fajitas and 30 tickets in the arcade. And so people just like forget that you're a server at a restaurant and there's like hardly anyone that tips. People run out on their bills all the time. You're just put on the floor to like handle this like computer code system. And it's such a revolving door that no one's there to help you. Everyone's just there to get their own tips. And everyone that worked in the kitchen were rehabilitated criminals. And so there's like a security guard that will like walk you to your car at the end of the night and stuff like that. That it was like,
Are you talking about the strip club?
yeah, it was called, they told me it was called Dave and Buster's, but I'm learning that it's called Fantasy.
Showgirls.
But how did that date go?
It was horrible. It
Oh,
was horrific.
Really? You didn't bond over
The
some
worst
skee
date
ball?
ever. I mean, I've had great dates at Dave and Buster's. It's not Dave and Buster's
That's your
fault.
go-to.
Because
It's
a
not their
great,
fault.
It's
It's a
just
great
this
date for
date
the-
in particular went
Yeah,
badly.
It's a
because
great
Dave and
date
Buster's is
because
awesome. It's a great date spot because you can just go in there, hang out. Even if
And it's an activity. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to be stressed about. All we need to do is make conversation. You're like,
Sure.
we have
Let's
something
play
that
some
we're
air
doing.
hockey, baby.
yeah, you don't have to be scared about like running out of material to say.
Exactly. Yeah,
Like, you know.
you're a stand-up audience
Sure.
of one, aka date.
So what happened? What was so bad about it?
Well, I took her. So I met her on this app called Raya, right? I used
I'm
to.
familiar.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's the
I'm familiar.
that's the
That's how
dating app
Brooks and I
for
met.
famous people.
Right. You got to get some like verified
Yeah.
influencers or
It's,
whatever.
it's
It's
a dating
bullshit.
app for photographers and directors.
Something
That's
like that.
all the
right?
guys on the dating app
or
are
DJs.
DJs, photographers, or directors.
So did you get invited or did you apply to join?
You have to
and then
apply
gotta
to join
accept
Riot,
You got
and
to
they have to
apply to
approve
join.
you.
I had a friend told me about it, so I went on it just to
Because
check
you're
it
like,
out.
I'm famous now. I'm on television. I need to be.
I like to test how famous I am sometimes.
Sure.
It's also my worst fear, like to walk into a bar and they don't let me in. You know, like
Right.
you know.
Oh.
But anyways, so I met this girl on there. She's
an influencer.
a costume designer
Okay.
for somebody famous, and she runs a tween magazine in London.
Oh,
Sure. Why not?
But she's like 35, but she like caters to kids that's like 12 years old.
Okay.
So she has to act really young and all that.
Sure.
Or
and
whatever.
yeah, be up in the know of all the things that the tweens like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then during a date, first of all, like I don't expect, I expect myself to pick up the bills, the Dave and Buster's tickets or whatever. But I like
I'll
it.
get you your power card.
all the fine dining.
I would like it just a little gesture.
Uh-huh.
Like
Something like let's split
maybe
this.
just offer to pay for your own power card or offer to pay for the third round. Just a offer, a gesture.
the modern
Sure.
man.
You know,
I just want an
zero
offer
gesture.
for you to pay for your power card.
And then the whole time, like we're playing Mario Kart or like whatever, she
Mhm.
was like totally not with it. She was Snapchatting everything. And then she had me Snapchat her playing Mario Kart.
Just Snapchatting the whole date. That feels like a faux pas.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
And it was a first date?
I was Snaptating.
You were basically became.
Snaptating.
Yeah, you became her intern.
Yeah.
And you were just filming
Oh,
her.
no.
It was horrific. It was like I consider walking out of it, but I'm so much of a pussy I didn't walk out.
And you love Dave and Buster's, so like you're already there.
And at some point in the date, she lost her power card. And I'm like, damn.
That sounds like a Cinderella story. She lost her shoe and you had to find
Yeah, I
it.
had to go find her power card. I was so mad. Of this $30 power card I just paid for. Anyway, so and then the next day, like we never talked after that because it was just so bad. And I think she went back to England at some point.
Yeah.
But she posted it on like her Instagram. One of the pictures I took of her playing Mario Kart. I'm not in the picture. And she said like, it's great when like Bae takes you out to like Dave and Buster's. or
Oh,
something
you're
like that.
Bae now.
It was insane.
Wow.
That is so much mixed messaging. That's nuts.
But like she did the date.
It sounds like she was kind of using you.
The whole point of the date was using me to get
A story.
a story
A
for
Snapchat
herself.
story. That's a bummer.
It's horrible.
That is, I mean, you learn your lesson. Again, the moral of the story, not Dave and Buster's fault.
Yeah, not thinking about the phone.
But it's also how you figure out immediately if you are compatible or non-compatible with someone. Take them to Dave & Buster's. That's a really make or break experience for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Like, look,
The
maybe
real litmus test.
Yeah.
maybe the move is to offer buying the power card.
Yeah.
To see
Ladies,
what happens.
listen up. Modern men want a female to at least offer.
At least offer.
Yeah, at least and look, I'll pay for the power card. No big deal.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna ask you, how many points do you want on your power card? And you better not say $50, all right? Because you know we ain't gonna be here for 3 hours. If you say $20, I'll be like, okay. Are you sure you don't want the $5 bonus?
That gets us 2 more slams on that giant wheels that spin in the
Yeah,
background.
these are all tests. And then whatever tickets we win. I want to see if she wants to save it for next time, if she want to buy some for herself, or if she want to get some for me.
Yeah, how many mood rings are you getting for me in that the store at the end of the night?
Then after the day, are you letting me keep your card and your points? All right? This is very important. This is
You know I
test.
frequent.
Yeah.
How you're not writing a dating advice book already as your second book, I don't know.
I should.
You should. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
I
put that
agree.
in your bank. You just turned 30.
Uh-huh.
How long ago?
Last June.
Last June.
Yeah.
Did you do any big thing for the 30th birthday? Or are you kind of a
think-
person that's like, nah?
I don't remember. That's
That's how good
big-
it was.
Yeah, but I think I was in Singapore shooting Crazy Rich Asians or something.
Yeah, which
So-
we were just watching the trailer. It looks amazing.
It's an amazing film.
And it comes out in August, right?
Yeah.
You must be so goddamn excited about
Very
it.
excited. I'm just one of many great actors in there. So I'm not calling myself great. I'm just saying other people are great. But the movie's very great. And it's an awesome film.
Did you shoot the
It's
whole thing in Singapore
Singapore and Malaysia.
and
Yeah.
Malaysia? How was that?
Amazing.
Yeah.
The experience was so awesome because like being Asian, usually you're the only Asian person on the set.
Right.
Like, and you have to somewhat represent being the Asian dude.
Right.
Like, it's where I talk about this. Like, it's funny and it's sad, and I wish it's not this way. Like when Johnny Depp acts, or when either of you guys act, you guys are judged by by your performance. Either you're a good actor or you're a bad actor.
Yeah.
When I act, there's a whole community of Asian people that judge me as either a good Asian or a bad Asian.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so
And
interesting.
like what sort of what do you mean?
Like, are you representing Asian people positively? You know, some people
like authentically?
there's an Asian community that don't like me because I on
that's
Silicon Valley I have
interesting.
an accent.
Right.
Also,
I play an immigrant. Or
Jin
whatever.
Yang is kind of he's like the villain of Silicon Valley.
Yeah, which
now.
I love in a way.
Yeah, you
and
can
Yeah.
tell you love it.
he's in a way very anti-tight because I'm like kind of like the geeky looking person, and
yeah, but you're also like the bad
but
guy.
I'm the fucking devil on the
Yeah.
show.
And were you given like a heads up that that's where the script is going, or was it kind of a surprise that like, cool, this is awesome?
We find out like when we do the table read, they don't really have a conversation with us.
Really?
Yeah, but the writer's very great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that,
no,
that
so-
show is great because it's constantly surprising.
And also, it's just, we were talking about this before you got here, that you guys are all so well cast that it doesn't seem like there's a script. You guys are just so genuinely your characters, and it seems like
Right.
it's a real conversation that's happening.
The writers do a great job of going off of whatever we improv that season and like
Oh,
that's
the
cool.
past season
Yeah.
and also who we are like personality wise.
Right.
Like a lot of Zach Wood's storyline and stuff, I think stem from just him being who he is. He's
Right.
so
Right.
in character every time.
You guys are
so they take
yeah.
a piece of that and write it into next season. So for me, they must have seen that I was an asshole.
You're like, if the math adds up, the reflection of the
Just a
narrative is.
conniving-
Oh, I mean, he's
horrible
like a
person.
sociopath.
Yeah, and
I'm-
I think, and like, there's a reason of him because he was like getting fucked over so much by
Right.
Ehrlich.
Yeah.
So it's really earned in the past
Yeah, it's like a
seasons.
revenge.
Yeah, when he gets back at Ehrlich,
Yeah.
But it also makes it feel like a real human.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
He's got depth of character. That like
Yeah.
this is what anyone would do if they were being like stomped on by someone.
Yeah, and this season, it's like he turned full villain in a way.
Full villain. Yeah.
Which,
Like Walter
which even
White?
some of the Silicon Valley fans are like, oh, I hate Jing Yang now. Which is, in
That's
a way,
a sign
like,
that you're playing a great villain.
yeah, like, we're meant to do that,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But I was kind of scared, like going in. I'm like, I don't know, like, should I be this mean to the boys?
Oh,
like,
interesting.
But we trusted the writing, and I think the arc came around, as you guys will see. But yeah, back to the whole being Asian thing, so it's hard. Like you always have in the back of your mind, like, am I
So
representing?
do you get some like backlash on that because you play like the
Sometimes.
bad guy on Silicon Valley? It's like, oh no, like it's like the
Mainly the beef is, I think, I look kind of nerdy, which I fucking can't help.
Yeah,
you look how you look.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm not. Yeah, this
and
is me.
also I have an accent,
Okay.
which in a way to me is kind of don't make sense to me
Mhm.
because I was an immigrant. I kind of an accent coming in,
Sure.
and there are people that like that out there. But the problem, really, it's not me or anybody. It's just not enough representation.
Yeah, lack of representation
Yeah.
puts too much of the focus on you.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah,
one
yeah,
out of
yeah.
5 Asian people on TV.
Right.
Sure.
So all the focus is on me and Ken and whoever out there.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Whereas and Crazy Rich Asians, I felt so relieved because I can be
Yeah.
as
You have an
crazy.
ensemble.
Yeah.
That you're just yourself. You don't have to be like, I'm representing
Exactly.
this whole community.
because I can be wild and crazy and funny or whatever.
Sure.
And then you have the romantic leads that are very, very good looking and very tall and not
Oh,
nerdy
yeah.
looking.
There's plenty of like
Sure.
shirtless scenes that I was like, they're doing this trailer perfectly. This is a great trailer. I'm very much into this trailer.
Exactly. So you have a whole spectrum of Asians that's representing all of different humans, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Instead of just scrutinizing that one Asian person that's on TV.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And that's only going to get more exciting after the movie comes out. I mean, are you
Yeah.
guys, are there plans to do like a big press tour with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many of us, and all of us are good at different things.
Sure.
Interviews, like some people are charming, some people are beautiful, some people are funny, whatever. So I think it's teaming up in like different groups.
Scheming all of this out.
And
Yeah.
everybody's so on the same page. Like, I'm like, dude, like, cause some movies, some shows you do, it's like, I'd rather not do this press. Like,
Yeah.
it's bullshit, But this one, I was like, yes, I'll do anything. Just hit me up. I'll be there.
I'm
Yeah,
available.
because you want this to be a success.
I
So
want
that
this
they
to be-
make more
Yeah.
movies like this.
And it's a really good movie at the
Sure.
end of the day.
That's great.
I think it's
so-
good for everyone to watch.
And
yeah.
isn't that the best thing ever that you have an end product that comes out like a year after you're done shooting it
Yeah.
and that you're not embarrassed by? That you're like, I'm so proud of this.
So good. It's just
That's so
good.
exciting.
Yeah.
We talked to Thomas Middleditch was just on a recent episode of the podcast, and he was saying how on set with everyone, because there's so much improvisation and people just riffing, that they're like a publicist's worst nightmare because
Mm.
they're like, we're just singing songs that like should not be repeated on set in between takes that are just absolutely like unrepeatable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it's so much fun though that everyone feels like
it
a
feels
family.
like a fun show to make
It's so
because
great.
you guys get to just like crack each other up.
Oh, for sure. I think
Yeah.
that's always my goal.
yeah, I
in
was
a
gonna
way.
say, is that a goal
Yeah.
of trying to get each other to break?
It obviously doesn't help the filming process.
Sure.
Sure.
But
you
for
feel like
me-
you've earned something when you've done
yeah,
it.
and
right?
for me, it's like a gauge as a stand-up.
Sure.
Even if I hear
Oh.
a chuckle from a writer or Mike Judge, like behind Video Village, I
Yeah.
knew I did something right. So I
Yeah.
kind
Right.
of use that as my gauge. Yeah.
That's super validating. to be like,
Thomas cracks up a lot, and which is great because he's a great actor.
yeah,
But he also, in a way, validates you by kind of cracking up every now and then. He can't help it. Like, we
Oh.
all crack up.
it's so helpful. I mean, especially when someone that you think is really funny laughs at something that you say, you're just like,
Yeah.
this is, I'm addicted to this feeling and I'm
Yeah.
going to chase this forever for the rest of my
Yeah,
life.
you know how, like, if you meet somebody on a plane, you tell them you're a comedian. The
Yeah.
first thing they do is try to tell you a joke to make you laugh, to get your validation because you're the
true.
professional.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it feels that much better
that's
coming from a
interesting.
great comedic actor like Thomas
Oh,
or anyone
100%.
or Mike or
Right.
somebody,
How was it for you, like, first day on set of that show? It must have been kind of intense to walk in and be like, I'm with all of these people.
Absolutely.
And Mike Judge and everything.
But I didn't know I was going to stay on the show. I thought that was the only episode I was going to be on. I had
Oh,
three, I
really?
had 3 lines. Yeah. So it was
Yeah,
like,
because you like start out as like Ehrlich's like intern or something,
yeah,
right?
that's what they think because I just literally show up in the house.
Right.
Yeah.
And the
yeah,
first episode, it wasn't even a scene with Ehrlich. I just show up answering the door.
Right.
I was
Right.
one of the NQBs in the incubator house. And people had no idea who I was. There was no introduction.
I had that same like instinct but then later it almost became like a buddy comedy, like the two of you.
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like Lauren Hardy.
oh, it's really good.
We loved it.
And
Yeah.
now and now it's like, oh, you have to become sort of like the villain of the house.
Right.
Like the episode I just watched was the episode right after your character had kicked everybody out of the incubator.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, so like Jin Yang is like the bad guy now.
Exactly.
And he's just
Yeah.
like he's trying to like basically steal the 10% of Pied Piper from Ehrlich and like fake his death and all of this. Like
Amazing.
it's fantastic because it's just like I like it because it feels brave to be sort of like, yes, we are going to make this character the villain this year
Mm-hmm.
and just lean into that. And what I thought was really interesting was because then the latest episode that I just watched, your character is with his development team in China and is
Right.
like depressed. It's just like, yeah, I can't figure out the system. Like I failed.
Yeah, there's a whole arc there, which is great.
Yeah, like you see all these levels of like it's
Yeah.
not so easy to just be a pirate.
Exactly. And he also goes up against one of the main villains of the show. Let's not give too much away.
Okay,
yeah,
sure,
no
sure, sure.
spoilers, guys.
But it's a really good. I really enjoyed that episode.
Do
And,
you have, we asked this to Thomas too, now being part of Silicon Valley, do you ever have like developers or execs come up to you in real life and are like either hate what you represent on the show
Yeah.
or like thank you so much for showcasing like what our world is like?
Yeah, we run into a lot of that. Like every now and then I go to TechCrunch or
Right.
or we do stand up for some people, or we go tour like Google or something.
Sure.
And usually it's very positive reactions.
Right.
You know, that's our main fan base in Silicon Valley, in San Francisco and San Jose.
Yeah.
But then you have some people that's like, I can't watch the show because it's too real. It stresses me
That's
out.
what Thomas was saying too.
Yeah.
Which is a compliment.
Yeah, it means you
Yeah.
guys are nailing it.
Yeah, but Elon Musk, I think, was a guy that has been elusive because at first he didn't like it.
You can't get his.
You can't gauge him on
At
what.
first he didn't like it, and then he came around
No,
and he likes it.
That's cool.
And he posted a tweet that said "not hot dog" or something, which was really nice.
right.
Amazing.
And then, but this season we make fun of Tesla quite a bit.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know where
And
he
he
stands
hasn't
now.
commented yet.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Kumail's character gets a Tesla, and it becomes like the
Yeah.
sort of conflict between him and
Well,
Martin Starr's character.
He's a massive fan of our podcast, so I'm sure he'll comment after listening
yeah,
to this
Elon?
episode.
Elon,
Yeah.
thank you for
he's-
listening.
He leaves us lots of Apple store reviews. It's
Oh, that-
kind of
yeah, there you
obsessive and
go.
overwhelming. But
Is it signed Mr. Musk?
Mr. Musk,
Yeah.
that's also
Yes.
his name in Clue too, the board game.
Yeah.
Mr. Musk did
And
it in
the
the
profile
library.
picture is a Model X.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Right,
That's
yes.
that's definitely Elon Musk. Let me tell you, that is definitely
That's
Elon
him,
Musk.
guys.
Yeah.
We don't fact check. We're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, we have a bunch of Twitter questions for you
Yeah.
that I think are really fun. And also, I gotta find out more about this toffee.
Oh, she's the cutest
Okay.
pug.
I can't wait. Hold on. We're gonna take a break, and when we come back, more of Jimmy O Yang on Not Too Deep.
Not too deep.
Today's episode of Not Too Deep is brought to you by Flex. Okay, guys, girls, I'm talking specifically to women that get their periods. Did you know that there are products that you can use to manage your period that can sometimes make issues like cramps and bloating worse? Well, Flex is a life-changing new product that completely replaces tampons, replaces pads, replaces menstrual cups, and gives you the most comfortable period of your life. I know that sentence, most comfortable period of your life, seems like an oxymoron, but Flex has got you covered. Flex can be worn for 12 hours. It's easy to change on the go, and it allows you to live like you're not on your period. Can you imagine? Once it's in place, you can't feel it at all. It's a truly innovative product that can relieve cramping. It works against leaks, odor, and irritation, and allows for a mess-free period sex situation, if that's what you're getting involved to. It's not too deep with Grace Helbig, but sorry. We're getting a little deep because Flex is sponsoring this episode. If you want a mess-free period sex situation, Flex has got you covered. It is completely body safe. It's FDA registered, hypoallergenic, and made without BPA. I don't know this word. I'm literally reading copy, so tell me. You guys correct each other. Phthalates, which apparently are bad, I assume, latex or silicone, and it's the only internally worn product not linked to TSS. You heard me correct. It's the only internally worn product that is not linked to toxic shock syndrome, which, girls, we've all been like, it's pushed into our psyche that's going to happen at some point. It's going to be the worst thing in our whole goddamn lives. TSS, not with Flex. So they say have the most comfortable period of your life, which is
the most insane sentence ever, but they're a wonderful system that is absolutely wonderfully supporting this episode of Not Too Deep. So go check it out. Have the most comfortable period of your life. Go to, and I'm not joking, this is the website, IHateTampons.com, and use the promo code GRACE to get an additional 30% off your first purchase. Promo code GRACE at, again, not joking, IHateTampons.com. 30% off of your flex order. IHateTampons.com. I hate that this is the best ad that we've ever had on Not Too Deep. Thank you, Flex. And now back to Not Too Deep. IHateTampons.com. Promo code GRACE, 30% off.
Does she swim? Does she go in pools at all?
Never been.
Never?
Yeah.
I mean, she clearly loves water.
Yeah, she just loves it.
Wait, so she's a pug that is like your family's dog?
It's supposed to, I was supposed to split time with me and my parents on this pug. But I just travel so much, and she's so crazy.
Yeah, pugs are either really super high energy or super lazy, is what I've heard.
We, when we picked her out in her litter, all her siblings were like really shy. Like when we picked up the baby, like those was when they were 2 months old or so.
Yeah.
All the siblings were like shaking, kind of shy. She was like crawling up on your face. We're like, this is the one.
She's got personality.
Yeah. But then the problem is she's crazy. And my parents has never trained her. So she just loves to play all the time.
Endless energy.
Yeah, and she's like a year and a half, so she still has that
she's
puppy
still
energy.
baby energy. Yeah,
But she's so cute.
She
knows
cute.
she's cute.
Oh, she does. So she uses it to her advantage.
And she sits like a human. Like she thinks she's human. She just sits on the couch like
with
this.
like front paws up.
I gotta find you a
like
picture.
watching TV.
Just to see like your reaction.
But she
on this.
literally in that video of her getting a bath.
That's how she sits.
Oh my god. She's sitting like she's at the nail salon getting her nails done.
Yeah. Please service me.
I'm right here being adorable. What else am I supposed to do? Give me treats. And so she lives with your parents full time.
Yes.
She is absolutely adorable, and just a reminder of the constant joy that dogs bring into all of our lives.
Yeah.
Thank you, dogs. You are
I look
fantastic.
forward to driving an hour to see my parents now because of Toffee.
So it's not so much about your parents now. It's Toffee's the impetus.
Are they still in San Diego?
They're in Monrovia. So it's like quite a bit of a drive.
But that's
you guys can follow Toffee at Toffee Starpug.
She's got an Instagram, yeah.
Toffee Starpug.
She's doing that social media game.
My dad handles her Instagram.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Wait, does he write the captions as if Toffee is writing?
Yeah, he doesn't really know how to use hashtags.
Amazing.
Like, old people use hashtags like hashtag pug puppy, but there's a space.
Yeah.
So all you get is pug, and then it don't make no sense. Yeah.
But that's pretty perfect. I mean, there's something that's very specific about that. Okay, we're going to get into some Twitter questions in a second, because I'm going to ask you the two questions I ask every guest that's on the podcast. And the first is, who, alive or dead, would you most want to throw cold spaghetti at?
Oh my God, that's a tough question.
It's a very difficult question.
Wow.
Yeah. And it obviously, we understand that it probably
cold
changes.
Spaghetti. It's an insult, right? To throw.
It's whatever your intention
cold
is.
spaghetti. Does it have tomato sauce on it?
Again, your preference. We said just the.
Let's go ahead and say yes.
Because if there's tomato sauce, it can't be a friend, right? Like it's not
Unless
a joke.
They love it.
It's like maybe TJ.
Okay.
And then I just want to see his reaction.
I think that's
because I feel like he'll play off of it, and it'll just be one of the funniest things.
Yeah, it would become a bit.
Because I was trying to think of like an enemy out there too, but I don't really have anybody that I hate that much.
Totally
But like TJ it would just be fun.
Do you have a similar dynamic with him in real life as you have on the show? Because it feels very organic. Like
it does.
But
I think deep down, what's great about that? It's like Laura and Hardy. They bicker, they argue, but they're like siblings. They
but
there's a love, and like people can sense that. That's why they don't care when the audience don't care, and they love it when we mess with each other.
And it's clear that he feels the same way.
For sure.
Because even when he was doing those interviews last year, he was talking about how much he loved working with you and how great you are.
Yeah, I love TJ, and in real life we get along very well, and we're very supportive of each other.
That's great.
So how do you think he would react to the cold spaghetti being thrown at him?
I want to do it when he's doing like a stand-up comedy show.
Oh, no.
I feel like you would love it. I feel like it'd become part of his routine.
It would. He poured water all over himself, like on the HBO special.
He'd make it work.
Yeah.
Okay, the other question I ask every single guest on the podcast is to tell us your worst pants shitting story or close call. But
Holy shit.
But you can only use 3 words or 3 small phrases. So mine is college, jogging, front lawn.
Okay. Mine is.
I always get excited when someone has an immediate memory that comes to mind. Some people are like, I've never shit my pants. And you're like,
are you human?
That's your AI.
Yeah, mine is off the freeway,
Oh.
No.
beach towel.
Oh, all right. Well, no follow-up questions there.
Uh-huh.
And I
It's
guess
actually right down the street from here, guys.
Oh, right on memory lane.
Is there a little memorial?
Diarrhea.
Call back.
How many times have we talked?
I know. My editor's gonna be like, "Can you go back and record that podcast?"
I had diarrhea, and then I left with my tail between my legs.
Oh, the forward. To
That's
your
why we
next
get the
dating
big
book.
bucks, Grace.
I know. I get it.
You know.
That's what your dating book is going to be called. Okay, now let's go to some Twitter questions. Only Music says, "Should I get circumcised?" Sorry.
Oh, I was
circumcised.
gonna answer that one for you.
Yeah,
Well, how old is he?
we don't know.
No, don't get circumcised.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair.
you
Fair
lose
answer.
feeling, I believe.
We
And
were-
it
Yeah,
just
we were
pain- it
actually
seems
just
painful.
talking about
We've had many conversations today. Not all of them extraordinarily
well,
helpful.
I found out by watching Moshe Kasher and Natasha
Jarrah's,
Leggero stand-up special was that because she converted to Judaism,
Uh-huh.
right.
apparently, and then she's like, "There's only women in this class to like learn how to convert," and they're like, "Why aren't there more men?" It turns out you need to be circumcised.
As an
Yup.
adult, if you convert,
Yeah,
Fuck all that.
yeah.
I don't love my wife that much.
All the guys are like, "No,
I love you to a
thanks."
degree. I do have my terms and conditions. Colleen Merrills wants to know, what's the stupidest thing you've ever bought at Target?
Oh,
Are you a Target boy?
yes, I
Yeah.
love Target, but like the home decor stuff
Oh yeah.
that is totally useless, like a brass tray for
Yeah.
you,
For what?
for like a coffee table.
Yeah.
Now I
it's
put my remotes on there,
Yeah.
so it's kind of useful, but I
But
do
also,
not
you
need
can
it.
put your remotes on the
on the
table.
table.
Exactly. Yeah, like decorative bullshit.
Yeah, like here's an elephant mask that I guess I'm just gonna put on top of this tabletop that I
Yeah.
have, but serves no function.
But it just looks so good in a safe, comfortable environment of Target.
Yeah,
I had to
that's
buy
how
it.
they get you.
Are you a
Yeah.
person that goes to Target for one thing, leaves with 20,000 things?
I go to Target with no things in mind. I
Yeah.
just go hang out.
It's just where you
That's
frequent.
smart.
That Target on Santa Monica and La Brea,
Oh yeah.
it's like models in there.
Oh yeah. Also, that's when I live on the east
Pro
side now.
tip.
Before that, I lived in West Hollywood when I didn't fully live out here, which was just like subletting. And that when I had to like run during pilot season to a bunch of auditions, that Target was like my mental map of where the best public bathroom was.
Oh, for real? Yeah.
That I was like, I will go. It's a free hour of parking, so
Yep.
you're in and out in under an hour. You can get in and out.
And also, it's on the second floor,
Yep.
so it's like a moat for homeless people.
Yeah.
You know, they go to bathroom in the Starbucks downstairs. They're not
Sure.
gonna drag the whole luggage upstairs.
that's
Yeah,
true.
that's a
That's-
really good point.
That's
I
very
hadn't even thought of that.
It sifts through some people. You really have to be dedicated if you're going into Target. I think the bathroom, the other thing about Target bathrooms, I could do a whole TED talk on these guys,
Please.
is that they usually have multiple bathrooms on each floor. They have one on the ground floor,
Oh, no
one on
way.
yeah. So you can if you really need some privacy, usually third floor is an empty bathroom. People are going in on the ground floor and not spending the time.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's a
spoiler
good
alert, the one
tip.
at the
That is
Glendale
really good
Galleria
tip.
has multiple bathrooms. Yeah.
Well, you how many books have you written?
Two.
Three? Okay, your third book's gonna be
Yeah, it's just a bathroom guide.
Target and diarrhea.
Yeah,
Diarrhea and
yeah,
Target. It's
yeah.
like pro bathroom tips.
Oh God, I wish. I mean, I feel like I could give so many. Okay, someone wants to know your favorite drag queen. Are you a drag queen fan?
I don't really know too much, but
Okay.
the guy who's competing on American Idol right now.
Oh, I haven't been keeping
Oh my
up.
God, he's amazing.
I don't know who this is.
He performs in drag sometimes.
Okay.
And he could do a really deep voice and a really high voice. His vocal range is amazing, and he's just a great performer. It's like I'm almost crying every time watching. it.
Really?
It's incredible.
Do you watch a lot of reality TV?
I do.
What's your favorite? I do too.
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank.
Because you learn
Yeah.
so much. It's exciting,
True.
and every American show tries to make you cry.
Yeah.
When you watch the Olympics, it's like some dude like skiing, and then the next thing is like, yo, that dude's little brother died of cancer, man. And then there's this whole like 30 for 30 story.
Montage.
It's like,
Yeah.
yo, what the fuck? I'm just trying to watch some sports. Now I'm
Yeah.
like fully bawling.
Now it's full
Yeah,
human
yeah,
interest,
yeah.
and I'm interested.
And same thing with Shark Tank. It's like, my mother took a second mortgage out of her house, and I just quit my job.
So I can start my
And now
cupcake business.
my husband and my 2-year-old's homeless, and I live in a warehouse making cupcakes. And I'm like, damn, Like, they better invest in her, man.
Mark Cuban, if you don't offer 5% of the back end, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Oh my God.
Do you have any inventions that you would ever take to Shark Tank?
I do. I have one, but I can't really tell you. But
You don't have to reveal
it's
it.
about like making a microwave a little better of a device.
Oh,
Ooh.
making it an oven?
Yeah.
But I think that sounds great. The microwave is long overdue to be sexy again.
Yep.
Remember when that first got introduced into the American kitchen?
I don't remember when it was first introduced. I think it was always
I wasn't
around.
born, but I heard it was a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't really understand how it works. It feels like magic. You put it in a box and it spins in a circle,
And you're
and then
supposed
suddenly
to,
it's
yeah,
hot.
you're not supposed to get near it.
Yeah, it seems like
Well, you're not
magic
supposed to
me.
open it. Okay, one thing about the microwave, I think this is true. This is what I learned from a scientist friend of mine.
Okay.
And that's something you should never do. I see regular friends do it because you know how the microwave, when it's done, it goes either long beep or 3 long beeps, right? Beep, beep,
Okay.
beep when it's done, and then you take the food out.
Mhm.
Some friends just pop the microwave right out or in the middle of a cycle. That's bad. Those 3 beeps is to disperse whatever wave it's doing.
The
radiation.
microwave.
Yeah, you gotta wait those 3 beeps so when you open it, there's no waves.
Oh,
you know?
no, I've definitely opened it
So
mid.
have I.
That's
I've
not
definitely-
good.
What happens? Am
I
I
don't
gonna
know, you
get
get cancer?
now?
We'll find
oh,
out.
no.
We'll
Everything
find
gives you
out.
cancer, so it's fine.
Yeah,
it's
I mean, so
true.
there's no exact source of it. I'm
That's
just
not good.
assuming. But if you have a way to make it better, I can't wait.
There's a reason why there's 3 beeps, and you should wait for it. But that's
to
not
know.
my product.
Good to know.
Sure.
My product is not about safety.
I mean, if you're watching Shark Tank, you must be working on. I mean, the funniest part about Shark Tank to me is the spiel that they do when they first get introduced and they walk into
Hello,
the room.
sharks.
Yes.
That, and you know they've practiced this for hours. The way that like
dramatic music.
you're practicing stand up or whatever it is, that
Yeah.
they're like not professionals. And anytime they flub, I get so
Oh,
stressed out that I'm
Bum,
like,
bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. Bill has a new product coming in
yeah.
for all the athletes in your life.
yeah.
I mean, that's a great voiceover gig for you.
I did a YouTube sketch. I haven't done a YouTube sketch in years,
Uh-huh.
but I did a YouTube sketch called Bum Tank, where homeless
Oh.
people would go pitch their products to small-time hustlers. Still one of my best favorite sketches ever.
I feel like this is a series that could get extended.
I want to
that
keep
you should
doing
look
it, but
into.
Bring it
it
back,
takes a long
Jimmy.
time to do the YouTube sketches and stuff.
For sure.
But yeah, we got some fans on Bum Tank.
Bum Tank.
Yeah.
Guys, if you don't know, look it up. What's your guilty pleasure reality show? Because I feel like Shark Tank is actually like a very, like you said, educational show.
Right,
For,
ain't
like,
no
how
shame in
business
watching
works.
Shark Tank.
No,
yeah, you
but
learn
what's your
about business.
what's the one that brings you shame that you like?
Oh,
If there
The
is
one
one,
you hate to admit you watch.
HGTV shows.
Yeah,
Oh
ditto.
yeah,
I don't have much shame. I'm not shameful in watching those, but
Right.
it's like, oh man.
Are you a big Fixer Upper fan?
Yeah.
You like the Gaineses?
JoJo.
Gotta get that ship.
Joanna Gaines. They have the best relationship
Gotta
on the
get that
goddamn
ship
planet.
lamp up
God,
on the walls.
I really seriously, they're my last
by the
saving grace
way-
on couples on HGTV. Because that
Yeah.
whole Tark
Tarek?
scenario-
Tarek.
Oh, I knew
Oh,
they was gonna
flip or
get
flop.
divorced.
Yeah,
Like,
Tarek
look at
and
them.
Christina.
Yeah,
Ugh.
they look like they haven't been happy for 6
yeah.
seasons.
He looks like
Yeah,
he's
it's
barely
true.
hanging on every episode.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
about to be unhinged.
But if JoJo and what's the dude's name?
Chip.
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 If Chip
Yeah.
and JoJo gets
Oof.
divorced, I will kill myself.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm moving.
I would not believe
I'm
in
moving.
the sanctity of marriage.
I'm
What-
anymore.
burning
what about the
every piece of
Property
shiplap.
Brothers?
Property Brothers okay. They kind of freak me out. Like
Yeah.
they're too tall or something.
Too tall.
Like their bone structure too damn good. I'm like, man, y'all meant for Hollywood. Like you guys aren't real like realtors. Like I don't believe this shit.
Oh, that's so
The
funny.
Ooster houses.
They are tall in real life. I've seen them at events before.
Oh, really?
And they're very tall. Yeah. It's also strange because HGTV has like made like marketing off of the fact that one of them's in a relationship and one isn't, and then they'll do like series of the
Yeah.
3, like the guy and his wife and then the brother are all living in a
boo-hoo.
house.
Are we supposed to feel bad for the single one? He's probably out there banging so many like just strange people. Like fuck them, you know. Like I get a vibe that they're like genetically superior than most people, and they know it.
All right.
I'm not okay with that.
Right.
God, that's so
The
funny.
point of watching reality shows
Right.
is to watch people doing worse than you are. Okay.
Yeah.
And
it's
so you
Like that's
escapism.
why you watch Hoarders.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I say that like because you feel a little better about yourself, man.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
want to watch the fucking Ooster house with a perfectly pressed pants.
Is there, other than Shark Tank, a reality show that you would go on? Would you go on Big Brother? Would you go on The Bachelor? Would you go on any of those scenarios?
I would let JoJo and Chip come to my house and fix it.
Like redo it.
Yeah.
Just cover the walls in shiplap.
Yeah, but I live in an apartment. Like I don't know how much farmhouse.
Yeah, very rustic.
Yeah,
Oh,
rustic.
God.
They
Yeah.
can
We
do.
got rid of your door, and now it's just like a sliding
We put
door
a
that
barn
doesn't
door
lock.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took up half your living room, but look how rustic it is.
Yeah, my ceiling is just a beam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We, yeah.
Everything open concept. I don't have a bedroom no more. My bedroom is connected to the kitchen
Yeah,
now.
you sleep in this
your-
hayloft.
Your bed is just the kitchen island. It's great. But look how open it is. You can look at people while
It's
you
so
cook.
rustic.
Oh God, I would love that. I feel like that's a possibility. Like that could happen. Like you could be on that show.
That would be cool. Like I would buy a house in Waco, Texas, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which also fucking pissed me off.
That's the thing.
I
You can
went to-
buy a house there for like $200,000.
Yeah.
The
That's
couple
insane.
is like giving them shit because they're like, "Yo, we just bought this house for 20 grand, but our budget, JoJo, it's really only $7,500, and we
I
expect you to
know.
do this,
I
knock this wall
know.
down,
Give us a brand
remodel
new
our
house.
kitchen." I'm like, 7,500? Are you kidding me?
I know.
30 grand all in? I can't even pay
It's-
rent here for a year for 30 grand.
I know. It's insane.
It's nuts. Also, I recently went to Waco, Texas, because I had watched the Waco documentary series or
Mhm.
like scripted series based on the documentary. And when you drive into Waco, the first billboard you're met with is the Gaineses going, "Welcome
Oh,
to
wow.
Waco." They
Oh, really?
are the biggest celebrities in
Oh,
that
they
whole
put
town.
Waco on the map.
I
They
believe that.
really did. And when we were telling people that we're going to Waco to see like the actual like Waco,
Like the Branch Davidians?
yeah, we went to the Branch Davidians property,
Oh.
and everyone was like, "Oh, are you like a fan of Fixer Upper? You're going to see Joanna Gaines?" And we're like,
Uh-huh.
no, we're not going that route. We're doing the other route.
Oh,
That's
that's funny.
way eerier and sadder.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, they are like the president and
Mhm.
like
They're
two presidents of
huge.
Waco.
yeah,
yeah.
I believe that.
They're massive, massive, massive. Okay, so you went to college in San Diego,
Yes.
which is like a party town,
Yes, but not my school.
not your school,
San Diego State is like number 3 party school in the nation.
right?
I went to UCSD, which is a bunch of nerds. I hated it so
Really?
much. Yeah.
So you had a very different experience than most people have when they go to college in San Diego.
Yeah, the Alumni Association hit me up every now and then. I'm like, go fuck yourself. I hated your school. I would go perform if you just knock off all of my student loans.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, sure.
We can make this a very easy deal.
Yeah.
I'll come down there.
Quid pro quo. I perform.
See-
You get rid of my student loans.
Yes,
Exactly.
please.
Done.
Well, that's so funny because I've only been down to San Diego a handful of times as an adult, and every time I go down, I feel like I'm on a college campus.
It's so fun. San Diego's really fun.
super fun.
It's like a
you
laid back surfer town, right?
Yeah. Laid back surfer town, but you have the big party places also.
and you can
And
walk.
not everybody's trying to be an actor, but they're just as beautiful. So
Exactly.
Oh.
Everyone looks like a model
Mhm.
that like models for Billabong on Instagram.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's like,
sure.
wow, how is this possible? But also that downtown area, you can walk and go bar hopping so
Yeah, it's
easily. It's
amazing.
dangerous.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
It's super fun.
I've never been. I gotta go.
you gotta
It's
go.
the first time I went to Hooters was in San Diego, which really set the
Wait,
bar
which
high.
one? My buddy is like the general manager of a
In
couple
the
Hooters.
gas lamp?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that one.
shit.
But this was like 5 years ago, something like that, and was
Uh-huh.
like bar crawling
You gotta go
down
back.
there and went to Hooters, got some
Drop
purple
Jimmy's
drink.
name.
Yeah. Well, he don't work there no more, but he
Oh.
used to.
I mean, it was well run as far as
Yeah.
I can remember.
Good.
Um,
Shout out to my guy PJ.
PJ, great job.
Yeah.
The women that worked there were absolutely lovely. And also just set the bar way too high for every other Hooters that I could ever possibly go to in the
Mhm.
United States. I
Yeah.
was like, these women are tense across the board. This is insane.
Right.
It's what you imagine when you think of Hooters.
Sure.
If you've
I
never
I don't
been.
like going to Hooters. It stresses me out. It's too much
It was
pressure.
stressful.
It's too much. Yeah, I
as a
can't.
man, I can understand that that kind of franchise is probably a very uncomfortable thing to walk into these days.
Maybe I just don't like good-looking people. Like
Oh,
I
that's
just
fair.
I have an issue with good. Like it's too much pressure. Makes me
you're,
feel
you're a
shitty.
Dave and Buster's guy.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a Dave. You know. Yeah.
Two sides of the different coins. Okay, so I want to know, what bird do you think best represents your personality?
I'm not really a
Important.
bird person. I don't know, like a parrot. Who knows?
All right. They
I don't
live
know.
forever.
I don't know. Eagle, a vulture,
Sure. Those are three very different types of
Yeah.
something like that.
That's fair. And this is, I think, fun and interesting. Someone wants to know favorite special occasion that deserves a cigarette.
Oh, interesting.
Because this is
Uh,
based on your character for people that don't know.
I never smoked cigarettes, but I
But
used to.
your character smokes.
Oh, it's horrible. I have to smoke a pack a day on set.
Yeah, I
And
was
it's
going to
these
say, do you,
fake
are you
clover cigarettes. and
right.
It's disgusting. It'll water
Yeah.
your eyes and
Those
everything.
are gross.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You do it for your art.
Yeah, I know. I think special occasion. My special occasion treat. It used to be going to Tatsu Ramen,
Oh.
not smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Whenever I used to like get laid, I would just go to Tatsu Ramen.
You reward yourself.
You're like, oh, seriously, yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I feel good about today. I'm gonna go
So now
Tatsu Ramen. That's my special occasion.
So funny.
It's like, yo, why is this dude always showing up at 1 a.m.? Like,
So that's your cigarette.
that's my cigarette.
And then everyone that works there is like, that's the happiest man in the universe.
Yeah.
Every time he's here, he's just living his high life right now.
Yeah.
This is so
That's
great.
funny.
But also that creates a very special association with ramen in general.
Mhm.
That when you see it,
I gained a bunch of weight. I gained. I
it's
think,
like it's salt bombs. It's just bowls of salt.
yeah. Especially Tatsu is very thick.
Yeah.
One of my favorites actually down the street. Maybe I'll go here after.
Oh yeah, because you're.
Sentuka Ramen is my favorite now.
Are you? Would you consider yourself like a foodie person?
For sure, I love it.
Yeah. So what are your like hot spots in LA?
So Sentuka Ramen, it's inside of the Mitsuya shopping center.
Yeah.
It's the best ramen in LA.
Okay.
It's amazing,
Good to
right?
know.
It's so good. They don't let you do Postmates. They don't let you take out. You just
Really?
go
It's
there
good to know.
and just get the salt ramen with the special pork.
Ooh,
Incredible.
that sounds great.
Yeah, and Thai Town, of course, you got a bunch of great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
By where I am in West Hollywood, Otis and Penelope is great.
I've never
on La
been.
Brea. I think it used to be a Michelin chef guy, and now he opened it up, and
Cool.
it's awesome. And Stinking Rose is always great.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Everything got garlic in it. That's my joint.
And then you don't feel bad because everyone's got garlic.
Yeah.
So it's not like a weird scenario, and it is fragrant, but so fun. I went there once, and there was a guy playing piano, like very classic, like smoky lounge type of piano, but he was playing like Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake, but in this like very jazz thing. And the guy, I went with like an ex and we were there,
Awesome.
and it took us like a second to realize we were just like at the bar drinking and like trying their dips that they have. And I was like, he's playing Justin Timberlake Sexy Back. 'Cause he looked like this man that had been dead for 10 years, like playing this piano in the middle of the
Was he
restaurant.
dressed up as Dracula?
Not that I remember, but the piano has like a bar connected to it that you can sit at the piano, or at least you could.
Oh, wow.
They had like bar stools there that you could like put your drinks there, unless just like a bunch of crazies put their bar stools near the piano. We're like, we're sitting here now. We
Yeah.
want to be close. Okay, someone wants to know, what would your drag queen name be if you've ever thought about it?
You guys can give me one. I'm not good at naming myself.
It'd
I
have
can-
to be some kind of like clever.
Oh, you know what?
like some sort of like clever pun.
I
Yeah.
had a nickname when I went up on stage doing stand-up for the first couple of months.
Mhm.
Okay.
So maybe we can actually use that. It might actually be fitting. I was called Lowball Jim.
Lowball Jim is the perfect drag queen name of all
Mhm.
time.
Boom.
That sounds. Wait, who gave you that nickname?
Myself.
Oh, you and how did that happen?
Yeah, what does that
I was
mean?
reading. I thought I needed a nickname because Cedric the Entertainer, Snoop Dogg, and all my like favorite like
Oh
artists
yeah,
had
because
nicknames.
I read that you learned. You say this on your book cover that you learned to speak English by watching BET's
This is true.
Rap City or whatever.
Yeah, Rhapsody and Comic View.
and Comic
So
View.
like Bruce, J. Anthony Brown, Ricky Smiley, Cedric the Entertainer. I grew up watching those guys, so I'm like, oh, I need a catchy nickname because my real legal name is very hard to pronounce. And I was like, and then I couldn't think of one. And I was reading a poker book, and then there was a highball Phil and lowball Jim.
Oh yeah.
So then I was like, I'll be lowball Jim.
The best nicknames are the ones you give yourself.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what people say.
So that's my drag name now.
Wow, that's perfect.
Perfect,
I
yeah.
think that's really great. I can't wait to see you at Hamburger Mary's. I'll be right there. It'll be great. Which, if you haven't gone to Gay Bingo there, you have to. It's the best.
It's on Santa Monica, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
I think I've been there. Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, we've reached the end of the podcast, Jimmy. Thank you so much for being here
Thanks for
and giving
having
us your time. We're going to give you, every guest that comes on, we have a fortune cookie made just for them.
So you sure this fortune cookie is not just for me because I'm Chinese?
No, no.
Yeah, no, it's what we're doing all season
Every
long.
si- Yeah, can you imagine if this was our first episode and we're like, we've switched the way that we end our podcast?
Is this homemade?
Sort
No,
of.
it was home steamed open to get a fortune to put inside.
Wait, what?
We
Yeah.
got pre-made fortune cookies, and then Mel steams them open so we can put a different fortune
I didn't know
inside.
you get steam open. It's like a clam.
Hack.
Yeah.
Life hack.
Life hack.
You can. It does not continue to be as crunchy as it used
This is
to be.
a very long fortune.
Mhm.
Oh, should I rate it?
If you want to, you can.
Dave and Buster will give you an unlimited game card solely because we're pressuring them by putting it out there in this podcast.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Asterisk, please note, Not Too Deep has no direct ties to anyone who works at Dave & Buster's, but oh boy, we wish.
We wish. I mean, so it is written, so it is done.
Dave & Buster's, holla at your boy.
Must
Please.
happen now. It's
And-
your fortune.
Jimmy, where can people find you? Are you touring? Are you?
Yeah.
And your book is available everywhere. Where can people find all of this?
Yeah, the books, How to American, you can get it on Amazon, anywhere books are sold. You can find me at jimmycomedy.com.
Cool.
And I'm doing all the tours and stuff. You can find out tour dates.
Awesome.
Or follow me, social media, YouTube. I think YouTube, it's actually Lowball Jim. I think if you type in
my God.
youtube.com Lowball Jim,
Okay.
it's me.
That's
And you have
perfect.
another movie coming out too, right?
Yeah,
you
Life
have
of the
Life of the
Party.
Party's
Life of the
out.
Party,
Coming out
which
Mother's
actually
Day.
which actually has come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mother's Day, this weekend. Or would it have?
Well, when this comes out,
This will
it'll
come out
be
Go
right
watch
after
Life
that.
of the Party. It's in
Yeah.
theaters now.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for making time. This is really wonderful. And guys, make sure if you can go see Jimmy perform and get his book. Just an all around awesome
and watch
dude.
Silicon Valley because it's really
Yeah.
funny.
It's
Oh,
really
and
funny.
social media, it's at Funny Asian Dude.
Yeah, that's
No.
I had to like double, triple check that I was like making sure I didn't tweet out the wrong
At
Twitter.
Funny Asian
Yeah.
Dude. Love it. It's
So
great.
go check him out. Thank you again, Jimmy, so much. And we'll see you next time on another episode of Not Too Deep. Goodbye.
Too deep, too deep, too deep, not too deep with Grace Helbig.
Not Too Deep is a production of Grace Helbig Incorporated.
Produced and directed by Jack Ferry.
Producer Melissa D. Mons.
With writing by Diane Kang. Audio support by Chris Henry.
Editing by Melissa D. Mons.
And an extra special thank you to Flula for the theme music.